So on March 7th, they're going to be rolling out and implementing something they're called National Workload Management System. Again, National Workload Management System. So what do you think that means? Drop a comment down below and let me know. What do you think that means? Let me explain really quickly. Now, remember last year, they basically reduced their payrolls by 7,000 people. Essentially, they basically got rid of 7,000 people within Social Security. But at the same time, we have more and more people drawing on Social Security, more and more people enrolling and applying for Social Security, and they're dropping their payrolls. In other words, having less and less workers. Well, they're trying to make this process more efficient, okay? So generally when somebody calls Social Security, again, not every time, but in general, when somebody calls Social Security, they're routed to a local office or, somebody within their respective state who understands the laws and all the different provisions within a respective state. Where that beneficiary is located, right? However, with the new system, starting March 7th, the new National Workload Management System, what they're going to be doing is routing calls anywhere around the country to basically reduce the time in which somebody needs to wait on the phone to talk to somebody to get help. Here's the problem with that. And as highlighted here in this article, the example that they give is somebody calling from California who generally would have talked to somebody in a California office now may talk to somebody all across the country, maybe over in Maine. Or somebody calling from Texas may be routed to somebody in Wyoming. Or somebody calling from, say, Florida may be connected with somebody in Tennessee, something like that, right? I mean, again, I'm just giving you some examples here, but this is what's happening. Now, what's the problem is that these individuals that are being routed to representatives within Social Security in different locations around the country may not know all of the respective rules and parameters and laws and everything else outside of their respective state, if that kind of makes sense, right? And again, as we've talked about so many times here on the channel in other videos over the last several years, just as we all recognize, every state is operated a little bit differently. For the most part, each state has their own rules, their own parameters, their own different little nuances within each individual state. So you basically got people all across the country working within Social Security that are trying to help beneficiaries, and they're like, I don't have a clue, right? I'm located in California. You're calling me from Florida. I don't know the rules in your state or the different parameters, right? So they're just like maybe not offering the most efficient help for the beneficiaries that are calling, trying to maybe submit applications for their initial enrollment into Social Security or whatever it else happens to be. There's a lot of different reasons why somebody may call Social Security. But this is all going to be happening, and they're rolling it out as of March 7th, which is not that long from right now as I film this video. So if you happen to be somebody calling Social Security, again, just be prepared that this is likely going to be the case, and you may connect with somebody that may not have the answers for you going forward. They may not know, and they may need to go through some extra additional steps to maybe connect with somebody in your local field or within your local state and a local field office for you to connect with, if that kind of makes sense, right? So this is just going to cause more chaos, more confusion, more delays, because people that are calling in and not getting the necessary help that they need, what happens then? Do they just, try to figure it out on their own, or do they get bad information, or what's the problem here, right? How are they going to get the necessary help that they need to submit their applications or whatever it is within the confines of their respective state that they're calling from? How do they get that necessary specified help, right? So this is also alongside many of the changes that we saw implemented in 2025, also consistent with the new Social Security agenda, which I've talked about before in the videos, which is the digital first agenda, which is the whole purpose and kind of the crowning achievement of the new acting commissioner, Frank Bisignano, is this new digital first agenda, right? So they've rolled out AI and automation into the phone systems. When we call, we're talking to a robot most of the time. AI, they're trying to push us over into the Social Security website and set up a My Social Security account to get everything answered there. Basically what they're trying to do is they don't really want us talking to humans anymore, okay? Obviously, that's still an option. We can always go to a physical field office if we wanted to. That's not very fun. I don't know who would want to do that if they could avoid it. But they're basically trying to digitize everything within Social Security.